Peace to the YouTube family. It's Ray with Imperial Flame Killers. I just want to sit here and chop it up with y'all for a minute. Um, this is something of a rant, but I'm not gonna try. I'm trying not to go in too hard on certain dudes for certain shit. Right? I try to respect everybody's opinion. So, with that said, um, recently, besides the typical comments of people labeling my dog a bully when they have no idea of the proper designation of a working pit bull dog, right? This is a proper designation that has been made by the American Dog Breeders Association, right? By the UKC. So, um, understand the difference, right? Because your American bully is typically bred to be a very docile animal. It's crossed into a bunch of other breeds, to produce certain looks. It is a cosmetic companion animal. That is not the case with the Camelot Working Pitbull dog. The Camelot Working Pitbull dog was bred not just for structure, but also for um, drive. It was bred for that original pit bull drive. And to all my purists who don't like to hear this, I'm gonna send y'all to battlebred canines. I'm not gonna even have this debate with y'all, but y'all go check out the YouTube channel Battlebred Canines. My dude got an excellent series of videos on bloodlines in which he includes Chaos, Camelot, Watchdog. Um, I think he gets into some of the ruffian stuff. He even goes into to Corvino and the part that these American Staffordshire Terriers played, right? Later on in the breeding process, as well as how they came into being. So he gives you the history on some of these Amstaff bloodlines and the game bred lines that they developed from. So at the end of the day, understand that while the blue side of things is still a mystery to everybody, nobody quite knows where the fucking blue crept into the game. It should be understood that every American Staffordshire Terrier is not necessarily a blue dog, right? And then on the flip side of that, the American Staffordshire Terrier is simply the American Pit Bull Terrier bred for the show ring. So it's not going to have as much drive because you need more control in the show ring. You want to show the dog off. You don't want to see the dog tearing something apart, right? The dog was bred for sound temperament, structure, and so forth. It was bred for beauty, right? And so what eventually happened with the Camelot dog was you took OFRN, Old Family Red Nosed Pit Bulls, and you crossed them into the Amstaff. And this is how you got your Camelot dogs, man. But as opposed to most of the blue lines that were later on bred, where they bred out the drive, where they began to, develop this docile couch potato. On the red side, on the Camelot side, that never happened. They bred strictly for the drive, right? They kept the coloring in the coat and all of that. They bred to those characteristics and qualities, but at the same time, they didn't let that drive go anywhere. So that original pit bull drive is still very much alive in this dog. And so when you label it a bully, you have people expecting to have a bully. And it doesn't work like that, man. You understand? My boy spit out a litter 2 years ago. My cousin is calling me from Boston now, telling me, "Oh shit, I gotta send the dog back to you because he's going after other dogs." Yellow. Does the term pit bull mean anything? Right? So you cannot take that away from the label on the dog if you expect people to have a healthy respect for the temperament and the drive on the dog and to handle the dog properly. If you expect people to be able to handle the dog properly, you have to be able to go in with the proper expectation. There's no two ways about that. You understand? So, with those things said, I would like to, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Um, the proper designation for these dogs is a working pit bull dog, and they are characterized by the same drive as the American Pit Bull Terrier, right? But with thicker bone, a little more muscularity, and they are more of a catch animal, right? So whereas your American Pit Bull Terrier is commonly associated with the term game dog, right? And there's a couple of issues I have with that. But for argument's sake, I'm going to refer to what everybody calls game dogs as box bred dogs. In other words, dogs that have been bred upon generation upon generation upon generation to be dog aggressive for the pit, right? For the box. Now, that is not the only type of American Pit Bull Terrier there is. You have to understand that this thing that we call the Pit Bull has different strains. Even as it developed from the Bull Terrier breed. Right? So we have to understand that the breed itself has different strains that manifest in different ways. You see the Bull Terrier, you see the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. Understand that they are the same breed at stock, but they branched off, different strains. So now, in realizing this, what's commonly called a box bred dog has a very limited future. At least here in the United States as things stand. And I assure you, this is a movement that's catching on, in other parts of the world. This whole PETA, you know, fur mom type, tree hugging type thing going. And don't get me wrong, I respect nature. I have the highest regard for nature, right? But when it comes to infringe upon the rights of individuals, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, then I have a problem with it. So these different strains of of pit bull, right, including the box dog, is really something that is cultivated. It's a creation, man. A lot of you purists is trying to scream genetics, genetics, genetics. Oh, it was bred to be a fighting dog. That's just what it is. It's a fighting dog. Stop that, bro. Because we all know, and here's where I'm about to blow the lid off this shit. The American Pit Bull Terrier is a different dog off the chain. All right, now let's get to it. So now, a few years ago, a gentleman I happen to know very, very, very well spent some time, you know, on the other side. And in those travels, he had the opportunity to work with some dogs, work with some hounds. And one of the OGs blessed him with a pup off his yard of the OG's yard of strictly game bred dogs. Now understand that the OG was active, right? He was active in the fast lane. So when he blessed my man with the pup, that pup was off of dogs for generations upon generations that had never even seen the inside of a house. They don't have pets. Every dog is on a chain. Every dog is on the yard. And so when old boy got his pup, like, okay. But he himself didn't have no yard set up. A little apartment. It's like, all right, cool. It's a little female, little bitch. So in the process, one of the reasons that they handed the dog off was because the dog used to fang. At a very young age, the bitch constantly fanged. So you couldn't even really school a bitch. You couldn't even really watch her with her litter mates without having to stop it. You understand? What you gonna do with a dog that fangs? You can't work that dog. You can't unless you are willing to spend the money to get the surgery done. And that's a whole nother level for some of you niggas. You understand? That means you know that that dog is gonna put that work in. That dog is gonna be worth every dime of the surgery. Let's talk shop. You understand? So now, if the dog is constantly fanging, that's too many goddamn handles, right? It's just ridiculous. You can't even have a match. Let's just put it out there. So when they handed the pup off, it was for a reason. Now, the pup was allowed to come into contact with a female German Shepherd puppy of about the same age. And the pup used to run over the German Shepherd. You hear that little bitch squealing. Mm. That pup, that game-bred pup, taken off the chain, taken from around its little mates, put around other dogs, picked up behaviors from those other dogs, that the next time it encountered a situation where it should have responded with its genetics, it responded with the behavior it learned from that German Shepherd puppy. It cried like a little bitch and it laid down and it hadn't even been touched. She'd never acted like that before. She was always with the shits. The problem was the little bitch used to fang. From the time she came out the womb, she was with the shits. So where the fuck did she learn to cow down and cry? Because the dog she was facing was a bigger dog. It was an older dog. I think at the time she might have been about all of 3.5 months. The dog she was looking at was 5 months. And that's a big difference in dogs. So it wasn't even the idea of the dogs were just brought in proximity to each other. The bigger dog was scratching towards her. This bitch immediately just laid down. Don't hurt me. I wanted to shoot myself. How the fuck did I let that happen? But I point that out as an example, man. Let's stop screaming this genetic shit like these dogs can't learn other behaviors. And to the asshole who saw fit to tell me how to run my motherfucking camp as a kennel, right? Let me say this to you, fool. You understand what I'm saying? Before you comment on somebody else's program and how they do what they do, you need to understand the aims and objectives that they have. It is my intention to show both the potential and the pitfalls revolving around this Camelot breed, but more so the potential of the dog. Pardon God. Now, to quote my boy at Buck City Kennels, shout out. I respect all the dog, man. You understand? But I don't have no problem highlighting the D's on my report card. I don't have no problem showing you where I went wrong, what mistakes I made, how I underestimated these dogs, their drive, their intent, their IQ for the work. Hell yeah, I underestimated them when I first got them. I was used to game bred pit bulls. No way in hell these pretty ass motherfucking dogs is with the shits like that. I was dead wrong, man. And all you motherfuckers hopping up here talking about they bullies is dead motherfucking wrong. All you motherfuckers screaming that fat, lousy couch potato, fat, lazy couch potato shit. I swear to God, just give me your forearm, your wrist for a minute. I'm gonna put some nice padding up there and just let my boy work. And you tell me if he's lazy, if he's a couch potato, or if he'd rather be chewing on what the fuck he just found. You niggas need to stop, yo. Stop. Take that shit down the road somewhere to somebody who don't know no better, who don't lay hands on these motherfucking dogs. I'll put the imperial touch on these motherfucking dogs. And back to this asshole who seems to tell me what is proper and how to properly handle my motherfucking stock. I have you know, motherfucker, when I walk these dogs down the street, everybody notices and everybody says, hey, I love what you do with those dogs. I have my dogs working, and in the middle of a work session, stop and down so a little old lady can come up and say hello. Huh? Motherfucker, you don't understand what I do. You motherfuckers is running with stereotypes. These dogs belong on the chain. They can't do this, they can't do it, they can't. In other words, what you're saying is that the dog can't be trusted. The dog can't be taught. The dog has limited potential to learn. And we all know that's bullshit. Again, we're gonna blow the lid off this motherfucker today. Because for all the talk about genetics and the prey drive on the American Pit Bull Terrier, the dog has no greater drive than its desire to please its owner. Ah, so when I took Katrina back to school, back to the yard, back to her motherfucking little mates, and left her ass there, told her ass she pretty much could not fucking come home until she got her motherfucking attitude right. The next time we put her in front of a dog, I don't give a fuck how big it was, she understood, nigga, we scratch back. Now eventually we lost Katrina. Cause the bitch took on a motherfucking dog that was the size of a Saint Bernard, but had fucking pit bull bred into it. Right. We lost Katrina and we lost that dog that day. And she was going uphill a good motherfucking 60 pounds. So what I need you motherfuckers to understand is that ain't no novices here. It's nothing brand new to this shit. The only thing that was brand new 2 years ago was my introduction to this motherfucking Camelot blood. Shout out to motherfucking Glenn Pittman of Hard Time Pit Hawks. Shout out to Mike Ewing of Maximum Pits. Shout out to Holly Mitchell of Hollywood Bullies. Like, I done laid hands on they dogs, man, and found nothing lacking in any of those dogs. So for you motherfuckers that sitting there talking this crazy shit about what Camelot is and what Camelot ain't, stop listening to that Master Bulldog's fraud ass snip. Motherfucker don't run no dogs. Not these dogs. Huh? Now in the last couple of videos, y'all notice my boy had a nice bit of girth on him. I don't want y'all to get that fucked up. That is a rare occasion. I was trying something new. I sprinkled a little bit of dime in his motherfucking food along with what I gave the pup. Come to find out, that shit put weight on him, like his metabolism responds to that shit immediately. So that motherfucker was out there looking like, whoa, which is part of the reason that y'all see in this motherfucking video. We wanted to make sure he got that work. And in this motherfucking video that y'all watching, incidentally, he's not really the focal point. Reyna's the focal point here. Right now, we just got her out here scratching, getting that paw strong. You understand what I'm saying? Getting that arm back to where she's trusting in it, to where she can rely on it, where she gets used to tussling, really getting into it and having to use it. So, with that said, that's my time, yo. I appreciate y'all tuning in. This has been another edition of the Imperial Diaries. My name is Ray, and I want to welcome y'all to Imperial Flame Family Pits. Hope y'all enjoyed this little video. And don't worry, there's more to come. Y'all stay tuned. Keep the heat.